All right. Good morning, everybody. Happy Sabbath and welcome to Foresters Beach Church. I would love to invite all the children to come up to the front. I've got a couple of really cool experiments to show you. So please come on down. All righty. Thank you all for coming down. Now this is going to be a little experiment, a little sciencey, something a bit exciting, and it's about the force. I'll sit up here so we can all see a bit better. Okay, now while I prepare, what kind of force do you think I might be talking about? Maybe. All right, here we go. All right, I'll hold it up so we can all see. I'll show the kids as well. One of the kids knows exactly what's going on, and I'm using the power of magnets. Very, very interesting magnets, and these magnets are a very, very interesting, very specific type of magnet. So there's two magnets that we'll be looking at, one that I don't have that everybody has at home, and the second one that's slightly more interesting in my opinion. So everyone has a fridge at home, right? Maybe a fridge. The kind of magnet that's on your fridge, is it a strong magnet? Maybe, yes, it can be. Those kind of magnets are generally called regular magnets. And one of the cool things about them is that they're made from iron, one type of metal. The interesting part about these magnets that I have, these are called neodymium magnets, or rare earth magnet. And these magnets are very, very strong. And what's interesting about these is how they're made. Because the material is considered a rare earth magnet, it's not about how rare it is to find. They're actually very easy to find in the Earth's crust. But what makes them rare is that when they're mined, they're actually stuck together with a whole bunch of other things. So what we need to do when we're mining a magnet and creating a magnet, especially a rare earth one like this very strong one, we need to use a process called metallurgy. Now that's a really fancy word for someone that studies metal and works with different metals and elements to form different things, in very, very basic terms. So what they have to do with this particular magnet is they have to mine a bunch of ground, have to put it into a big furnace, and they have to melt away all the extra things that are there, leaving just neodymium, which is just an element by itself. Very, very strong magnet. And there's a couple of very interesting properties about magnets. Everybody knows that the magnets attract each other, and we look at the north and the south poles of magnets. Do you know if it's a north to north or a north to south that attracts the magnets? Or north to north? No, that repels magnets. So magnets have a very special force around them, a field. One side repels the same side, and the opposite sides will attract each other. So I'll show you here. Oh, Jared, do you want to hold on to one of these? All right, so we're going to try and put these magnets together, all tight. Oh, can you feel that? It's resisting. So I'm pushing possibly a south pole to another south. Oh, and then when I turn mine, suddenly they snap together. What I'm going to demonstrate, and what we've seen already so far with my book, is magnetism in action, but it's also demonstrating the power of God's love. And I found this very cool experiment, because when you're looking at our lives, we can be like this Lego man who was sitting on the page, and underneath was the power of God's love. And no matter how thick or thin the things that come between us and God are, we're still attracted to Him. There's something inside us that is built so that we will always be attracted to God's love. Another really interesting example of that are with these. So I've got some paper clips up here. Are paper clips magnetic? No. So they can't stick together. I can try and try, but they won't ever stick together. They're just not going to stick. But when I bring a magnet or God's love into the mix, suddenly they all stick together and they're all stuck, attracted to God's love. Well, they stick when you put them together, yes. And also with the power of God's love, things that were previously not magnetic or not attracted to each other suddenly are. So using the power of God's love in your life, you can then attract people to God's love as well. So I think that's a pretty amazing thing right there. One other incredible aspect of magnets that I'll share with you is that the earth itself has a magnetic field. And there's two things that does, which is very interesting. The first one is that it allows your compass to point north. Have you all used a compass before? Yep. Yes? Compasses point north because the earth itself has a magnetic field. So that allows you to find your way when you're lost. So God's love, in the same way, helps you find your way when you're lost. And thirdly, in space, some of you might have seen on TV, we had a big solar flare. And what's really interesting about our magnetic field is that it forms a shield in front of the earth so that when solar flares do come, we are protected from disaster by this magnetic field. In the same way, God's love is like a shield. It's our defense. So when you go home and look at the magnets on your fridge, or you might have some more powerful magnets around, I want you to remember those three things. That God's love is powerful and it attracts. There's something in us that always attracts to Him. That it's a shield, that it will help defend us. And that if we have it, we can pass it on to others. And we can be a nice chain of paper clips. Thank you for listening. You can head back to your seats. And there's a little thing in here from Merlene for you all. So we've got magnets here. These ones have a little ball bearing so they can spin around. Whoop. There you go, Ezra. Just be careful with them. And then, whoops. And then also these rubber snakes, which aren't magnetic. They're not magnetic. They will never attract to a magnet. But with God's love, maybe they can one day. All right, thank you.